Taoiseach, 18 years ago, the British government were critical in supporting the US government in telling a pack of lies about weapons of mass destruction in Iraq, which then went on to justify a murderous war, albeit against a very nasty regime of Saddam Hussein, but the premise of the war was a pack of lies, recycled by the British government and the American government, with disastrous consequences for the people of Iraq and the entire region. Now, I just wonder, given the events of the last few weeks around Ukraine, does that history give you any pause for thought about the claims of NATO and the United States that an invasion of the Ukraine is imminent? You know, particularly, and don't get me wrong, Putin is a nasty, authoritarian piece of work, and I don't trust them. But, you know, when their ambassador says it would be insane for us to invade Ukraine, when they start to move some of their military away from the border and indeed out of Crimea, and yet NATO and the US still saying war is very likely, and this happens to coincide with NATO also and the European Union looking for massive increases in military expenditure, including in this country. Do you not think the role of a neutral country is to somewhat question the drums beating for war?
Deputy Boyd Barrett, I suppose Deputy Murphy and Deputy Barry have raised the issue in terms of the Ukraine and Russia. I'm somewhat taken back that you swung it right around, it seems to me, and suggest that it's NATO that's at fault. I find it an extraordinary conclusion to come to, and that's what I derive from what you've said. It's now NATO beating the drums of war. There were over 100,000 Russian troops on the border of Ukraine. Ukraine should be entitled to its self-determination. I don't believe that it was justifiable to have so many troops on the border of Ukraine and such militarization there. And I hope that this continues to de-escalate. We do not want war. Above all, the people of Ukraine do not need war or destruction or conflict. And dialogue and diplomacy is extremely important. And the European Union, I mean, I think it's not in any way accurate to suggest that NATO have beaten the drums of war here. NATO don't want war here. European Union doesn't want war here. The member states of the European Union do not want war here at all. And that is clear. People are anxious about the security architecture around Europe. No, but again, look, you've moved very quickly from 120,000 troops massing on the Ukrainian border by the Russians to go to blaming the British and the US. Fantastic. That kind of, you're back to terra firma again in terms of your ideological position in these matters. And I didn't say that at all.
We're running out of time.
Didn't say that at all.